guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today, I thought we would do a video speculating about what the TANABATA festival banner is going to look like on JP with the release of the new Vegeta and Trunks father-son Gallic Gun unit. It's going to be very interesting to see what the banner ends up looking like. Now, I did bring up the Dokkan festival banner from the JP celebration on the wiki, but I think it's showing the art for the global one, because obviously it is because it's in English. But the thing is, I don't think you get the discounted multis or the 3+1. Well, maybe you get the 3+1. I actually can't remember how the JP TANABATA works, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what units are going to be on the banner. Just don't be distracted by the text that's on this actual artwork for the banner, because I actually don't know if those apply to JP. But we're going to talk about the units that are going to be on the banner, or potentially going to be on the banner. Obviously, Dokkan likes to change things up every now and then, so absolutely nothing is set in stone. But we are going to go by what is on the previous year's banner to try and determine what is going to be on this one. And we should be able to make a pretty close guess, right? Because some of these banners follow certain trends, like Saiyan Day always has the previous Saiyan Day unit, and so on and so forth, and some of that applies to the TANABATA banner as well. So, starting with the top two units, obviously for last year's banner were the Tech Gogeta and the AGL Gotenks. Pretty standard, goes without saying, Everybody knows this. There's not a single person that would disagree. But the two units at the top are obviously going to be the new LR, Trunks and Vegeta. Ridiculously powerful unit. The wiki page has just gone up. So, I mean, you can either pause it and read through all of this or go to the wiki. But, yeah, this unit is cracked. This is the new, best... I say the new best LR. This is the newest LR to release that has a chance of even coming close to being on the level of the 7-year LRs. Even if you personally think the 7-year LRs are better, which, I mean, the long and short of it is this unit is probably better defensively than them, and they're better offensively, especially early on in the event. But the real point is, and I tweeted this earlier, this is the first unit to release since the anniversary that I would argue is in the same tier as the 7-year LRs, because they literally were just in a tier above every single other unit in the game. And these guys, even if you don't think they're better than them, they are on the same tier. They are absolutely ridiculous. And then we have the AGL Goku Black. I mentioned this yesterday, that everybody's calling him trash when his details came out. But once we saw some of the calcs, he's definitely not that bad. The videos have gone up now for the private server showcase. And yeah, exactly what I said on Twitter. He's not that bad. He's not great. He's not the best side banner unit in the game or anything like that. But people just calling him straight up trash are absolutely incorrect. When he is fully built up, he's got over 400k defense after supering, which, you know, if he was a Dokkan Fest exclusive brand new unit that we want to take in the red zone and run on main rotation, we might not think that that's too great. But this guy's like a floating slot 3 support unit. And once he's built up, he has over 400k defense. And because he can unlock being effective against all types after he's received a certain amount of hits, you obviously want to build his hidden potential to be full additional. So then obviously if you get an additional super attack, that raises his defense even more. On his best turn, with big bad bosses active, fully built up, if he double supers, he's going to be over 500k defense, which for a floating unit who's only on your team to give support, I think is pretty good. People saying that he's trash, no. Obviously, he's not great. I'm not trying to say he's top 10 side banner unit or anything, but people definitely underrated him when his kit was revealed. And remember, he kind of lacks a good home at the moment, but Tech, Goku Black, and Zamasu 100% are getting an easy A during this celebration. You know, future stuff is going to get buffed. The category is going to get buffed. The Part 2 LR... I mean, we don't know, but at this rate, very likely seems like it's going to be some kind of merged Zamasu. So, this guy will have a place. He doesn't even have a 200% leader at the moment, and he's able to put up those numbers. So, not bad at all. So, if we look back at the banner, then we look to the first of the featured SSRs, and that is the TANABATA unit from the previous year. So, the previous year's banner, this guy was in this slot at the top where Tech Gogeta is. So obviously Tech Gogeta is going to return on the banner. Definitely still a very good unit. People have started to see a bit more value. His transformation condition can be a little bit annoying because you have to be above a certain HP restriction. And like his counterpart, the STR Vegeta, you can use that heal as kind of like a lifeline when you're in trouble. Whereas you can't really use that for the Tech Gogeta. But he's still a very, very good unit. Still an upper level like LR. So him being featured on the banner is definitely not the worst thing in the world. Then if we go back, we have the Go Bros were featured on there. Now, the Go Bros were a global first, but when I cross-referenced the dates for when they released on JP, they actually did release on the TANABATA Festival banner the year before the Blue Boys. So technically, these were the previous TANABATA unit before the Blue Boys. So it stands to reason that in their place, it's going to be, again, the next previous TANABATA unit, which of course is going to be the Blue Boys. So these guys, Tech Gogeta and the new Vegeta and Trunks, are going to be on the banner. 3 featured LRs. I mean, these guys, obviously nowadays, they're not like crazy top tier. I don't think I've actually seen any videos of what they're like in the red zone, to be honest. But I feel like people have underrated them for quite a while. I used them in the Realm of Gods Extreme Super Battle Road No Items run, because after they super attack, their defense is actually really good. And if you're able to pick up a bunch of rainbow orbs, they get a bunch of additional attacks, then potentially they trigger that additional super. They greatly raise defense on both of their super attacks. So if they double super, their defense is actually looking pretty good. Enough to tank attacks in ESBR for double digits with no item active, which, I mean, yeah, they're not going to be tanking like Broly's supers in the red zone or anything, but I do feel like they are a little bit underrated. So then, of course, this is where we get into the more interesting aspects. So this physical Goten and Trunks, if we go by the time slot that they released on JP, which is also the same slot as Global, although in a slightly different place. This is the first Dokkan Fest that released after the anniversary on JP. So following the normal trend, this was the last Dokkan Fest that released on Global before the anniversary, which you guys might be familiar since it wasn't all that long ago, is AGL Captain Ginyu. So this will be Captain Ginyu's first return on JP since his original banner. Still heralded by many people as the best TUR in the game, and he's going to be featured on this banner with like potentially the new best unit in the game. So just the fact that these two are going to be on there, I mean, this one is almost guaranteed. Some of the rest of this video is, you know, speculation. A lot of it is based on, like I said, the blueprint from the previous year. Some of it is a little bit of like guesswork. But like this is the one that is almost completely guaranteed that Ginyu will be on there. So obviously that adds to the value of the banner quite tremendously. There's probably a bunch of people out there who didn't get Ginyu on his first banner, but due to your summons on other banners between then and now, you might have actually pulled like Rakuman Guldo or Jason Berta. And so now pulling this guy, you're going to be able to run his team quite nicely. And obviously JP has the easy A for the Tech LR Ginyu Force as well. So that's an easy one to guess. Now this one is interesting. So the Int Gotenks, he was a Golden Week celebration unit on JP. The last time Golden Week was on JP and not Global at the same time. But obviously he was a dual Dokkan Fest and he released alongside Tech Exchange Boo. Tech Exchange Boo, as you can see, is not on the banner. So they just put the Gotenks on there. And obviously the only real reason that you can think of why they picked him specifically and didn't put the Tech Boo on there is because he fits the theme of the banner, right? Gotenks is a side banner unit. The main unit is Vegeta, Gogeta, like a Fusion Reborn sort of theme, right? So it makes sense for him to be on there. So if we go back and look at the next year's Golden Week after this one, which of course was the first time that Global and JP shared a Golden Week, one of those two units kind of fits the theme of the banner, and that is the GT Super Saiyan Vegeta. Now, I say he like kind of fits the theme of the banner. I guess he is going to be on, I haven't double checked, but he should be on the Parental Bond category, the new category that Trunks and Vegeta bring. But it just makes sense to me that he like fits the theme, right? Like if you're going to have a Gotenks on this banner just because he's a Gotenks, because these are like fusion units as the main units, then in his place, the following year's Golden Week unit is a Vegeta family unit. And obviously on this team, if he is on Bond of Parent and Child, he's going to fit nicely because he's an orb changer. which always helps out LRs. So obviously that is going to be very, very good. So I don't know if this Vegeta is actually on it, but even if he's not on the category, it would make sense for him to fill that Gotenks slot on the team. So I feel like that is where he's going to fit in. And then this next slot, this is the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest units, Pikkon and Janemba. So who are the next year's versions of these units on JP? Only the physical Super Saiyan 2 transforming Goku and STR Kid Buu. So another two, like this guy, a lot of people still contest that he's the best TUR over Ginyu. But even if you don't think so, he's still like top 5 probably TURs, like at worst, at very worst top 10. And then you have Kid Buu, who probably still hangs in there in the top 10. Obviously he needs a 200% leader and a much better partner, but once he gets that, he's going to be right back up in the rankings again. So these two units, even just these two units by themselves being added onto the banner, gives the banner a huge amount of value. So these two units should take the place of Pikkon and Janemba. So the last two, because I haven't bothered with doing the featured SRs, they're probably going to be, what, some kind of like base. There's probably going to be some kind of like SR Trunkses and SR Vegetas, I guess, right? And then maybe SRs of some of the units that we've talked about already, because like SR Janemba's on here to be SA fodder for the Tech Janemba. So I wasn't too fussed about trying to guess the SRs. But for these final two SSRs, both of these are very old. They fit the theme because they're both Gogeta units. So this one kind of is wide open. These last two slots, they're probably going to be Trunks and Vegeta cards, but I had a look down the list of the Dokkan Fest units that are Trunkses and Vegetas, and obviously none of them really fit the theme. Like, I don't think AGL Trunks is going to return in this slot, because he's a much better unit than, like, some of the rest here, and, like, these two slots kind of seem to be... Every banner has these, unfortunately, right? They're just the older, not as good units. They're the featured unit that you don't really want to pull if you're getting, like, a Super Vegito Fusion summon animation or something, right? So, I tried to make as best guess I could. Obviously, they're not the best units, although one of them is actually really good, but that's probably just me wishful thinking. So, I did double check, and this Int Gogeta did have his Easy 8 already when this banner came out. And obviously AGL Gogeta doesn't have one yet. So for me, best case scenario is for one of those units to be this Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Because technically he's an old unit, but he has his Easy A now and is actually really good, right? He's one of the better Easy A TURs. So he would be very, very good, as well as potentially being on the parental bond category. I mean, he should be, right? Like, pretty much the first time he uses Super Saiyan Blue Evolution in the anime, or at least when he uses it to fight back against Toppo, he literally has a vision of, like, Bulma, Trunks, and Bulla. So he probably should be on parental bond. So he would be good on their team as well, even though he's not on Battle of Fate, but he would still be good on their team. I almost think he's too good compared to these guys to be in their slot. I mean, AGL Gogeta, when he came out, was one of the best TURs in the game at the time, but he'd aged a little bit by the time the Tanabata Festival came out, so maybe this is wishful thinking and he's a little bit too good. In fact, it probably could end up being the Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta who has an Easy A. The only thing is I didn't want to put too many Int units on here, but you never know. I guess looking at this, we put the GT Vegeta in Gotenks' place, and they're both Int. And then this Gogeta down here is Int. So maybe it will be Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, but hopefully it will be this Vegeta instead. I think he's much, much better. And then, of course, for the Trunks, I just put this guy on. I mean, like I said, it's not going to be AGL Trunks. It could be Tech Transforming Trunks, I guess, actually. But because he's quite outdated now and will get an Easy A in the future. So Tech Transforming Trunks actually probably fits the slot of, like, AGL Gogeta, and then I guess it would be Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta that fits the slot of the Int Gogeta from the previous year. But for my guess, I went with these two. Obviously, this guy has his Easy A, but isn't particularly good anymore. He does create Rainbow Orbs, which could obviously be helpful without getting rid of Int Orbs. So he could be useful on the team, I guess, but obviously not for difficult content. He is very, very outdated at this point. So I think he could easily be... These two cards could easily be downgraded for this guy to Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and this guy potentially upgraded to the Tech Transforming Trunks, who, of course, is going to get an Easy A and thus have more value at some point. So there you go. This is a graphic that I just quickly whipped together. This is what I would expect the banner to look like based on these predictions that we've just covered. Like I said, at the bottom, obviously you could quite easily change the Vegeta and the Trunks. But I feel like they're just going to be some Vegeta and Trunks, right? Just to fit the theme. But unfortunately, you know, these banners always have these couple of older SSRs that you don't really want to pull. But they have to make up the numbers of featured units. But honestly, like, if you look at the middle row, let's forget about the top row, because obviously you want to pull the new units, right? But look at the middle row, like, only the physical LR Blue Boys and the GT Vegeta, I would say at this point in the current meta, are the only two units that are not, like, I say must have, but, like, really top tier picks, right? Like, Tech Gogeta is still good. Ginyu, potentially the best CUR. Super Saiyan 2 Goku right behind him, or up level with him, depending on your thoughts. And then Kid Buu not far behind them, or at least will catch up when he gets the 200% leader skill buff. So, honestly, like, if the banner ends up looking like this, yeah, I don't know how you don't summon on this. And obviously RIP Global, because we have the, in this later end part of the year, we're going to have the worldwide download celebration, then potentially another Dokkan Fest before we get Heroes, and then this, all at the end of the year. So this is pretty wild, but this is my prediction for what the banner will look like. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Would you summon if the banner looks like this? Who do you think would be on it if you don't agree with any of these picks? Let me know all of this down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master again. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.